Hello, friends. The 1183 day of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. The Russians continue to advance towards Kostiantynivka from the south, according to the deep state map. They have advanced further north from the highway to Pokrovsk, where the gray zone has approached the village of Popov Yar. To the east, the fighting has approached the village of Zorya. Russian telegram channels are writing about fighting on the southern outskirts of the village of Poltavka. They also report that the goal of Russian troops in this area is to move northwest, which will allow drones to more actively strike the bypass road between Pokrovsk and the Kramatorsk area. To do this, Russian troops need to break through the Poltavka-Popov Yar-Rusin Yar line, for which fighting has already begun. The enemy announced this evening that the Russian army had reached the border of the Dnipropetrovsk region and published a photo. The direction where this happened is not named. Ukrainian sources do not confirm this. But, judging by the deep state map, the Russians have made significant progress in Novooaleksandrivka, which is near the border with the Dnipropetrovsk region. The gray zone then approached the administrative cordon, which was just over 1.5 kilometers away. From Novozerhievka, the enemy almost approached Novomykolaievka, after which literally 100 meters is the border of the region, and so far 1.70 kilometers remain. Additional resources have been introduced on our side to stabilize the front here, writes a Ukrainian fighter with the call sign Muchnoy. Russian telegram channels also claim that Gorokhovy has almost completely been captured south of Kotlyarivka, where the northwestern part is held by the Ukrainian army. Ukraine does not confirm this. According to Muchnoy, fierce fighting is taking place in the village. Gorokhovy is also located almost at the border of the Dnipropetrovsk region. Russian troops have become more active in the Sunumi region over the past few days. The latest report from the American Institute for the Study of War says that they have advanced in the southwestern part of Latnia and captured fields to the west of the village. Russian telegram channels write about the capture of all or most of Latnia with the aim of reaching Yunakivka and finally cutting off the route to Suja. Ukrainian military telegram channels claim that the Russians are 1.5 kilometers from Latnia to this road. The Institute for the Study of War also reports Russian attacks in Bielovody and Vodolahi west of Latnia. And, citing unconfirmed Russian data, it writes about a breakthrough across the border in the area of the Sunumi village of Turya from the Belgorod region, where the Ukrainian armed forces recently stormed the village of Dnipropetrovsk. Let me remind you that the Russian Defense Ministry claims that the village of Yevhenii has been captured near Turya. Other sources have not confirmed this. Ukrainian military expert Mashevitz also writes about the enemy's increased activity in the Sunumi region. The Russians have stepped up their assaults in the directions of Veselivka Vodolahi, as well as Zhuravka Bielovody, apparently with the aim of advancing in the southern direction and reaching the Novomykolaievka Yablunivka line. He believes that Russia's key tactical goal in the Sunumi region at the moment is to take the heights around Yunakivka. Mashevitz estimates the total depth of the penetration of Russian troops in the northeastern part of the Sunumi region at 9.2 kilometers in the directions of Novinky Latnia, and up to 6.7 kilometers in the direction of Ravka Bielovody. Russian telegram channels write that Ukraine attacked again today in the Kursk region near the village of Novi Put, but the attack was repelled. In the context of the latest attacks by the Ukrainian armed forces in the Kursk region, another critical post was written by the resigned battalion commander of the 47th Brigade Shershin, whom I spoke about in the last video. He reported that in the Kursk region and on the Ukrainian-Russian border, he encountered missions that, by all indications, were doomed to failure and exposed personnel to a high probability of unjustified losses. This happened repeatedly, without taking into account previous tragic experience, the serviceman added. Over the past few months, I have the impression that they are simply trying to erase us. People's lives are spent like extra money at a party. The ratio of losses to results indicates a low level of efficiency. It is this, and the inability to reach out to the command in the established manner on the issue of maintaining the combat readiness of my unit and the lives of my people that prompted me to highlight the problem publicly, Shershin said. Let me remind you that earlier he accused the command of idiotic orders and failures. The media reported that Shershin's dismissal is connected with the fighting around the Kursk village of Tekhino, which is being attacked by the Ukrainian armed forces.
Friends, I want to develop and strive for higher quality content, but my 2009 computer does not allow me to do this. If you have the opportunity to help me buy a new computer and make my dream come true, I will be very grateful to you. You will find the link in the description under the video and in the pinned comment. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.